Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Thanks for being here today. Hope that all is well in your world. I'm having my morning cup of tea this morning. I've got a very interesting one as usual. This is in that box set I got, the miscellaneous teas. It's from Twinings again. It's called Glow, and I thought that was a great word. I love the word glow, but this is the ingredients. Strawberry, cucumber with green tea and aloe vera. And honestly, I think somebody in their marketing department just sits down and has like a bowl of names, and they just pull them out and decide, that looks good together. I'm sure there is actually a logic to that combination, but it's just a cool package, and I love the word glow. So I thought that was a good one for today. So I hope that you're glowing, I hope that you're feeling great, and I've got mine in my little bright cup, and I'm gonna take a sip. It's actually quite good. I like the aloe vera. I think it's good. Oh, it's good. Anyway, tea is wondrous. I've never met a tea that I didn't find intriguing and I didn't love. So what's your favorite tea? That's a question I'd like to ask you one day, because I really think that I'm running out of ideas and I'm having to go to these strange and wonderful combinations for inspiration. But anyway, I hope that you're doing great. I'm really happy that you're here today. I've got a story I want to share with you today, but first of all, I wanted to mention that our sponsor for today's show is International Living. Now, International Living is a company that we're working with to help you understand the options when you're considering retiring abroad. And this could be moving from a location in the United States or Canada or anywhere around the world to another country in Panama, Ecuador, Costa Rica, loads of places that are much less expensive to live in, but have a whole complexity of visas and lifestyle issues and other cost of living concerns, healthcare. International Living goes through the whole package. They've got people on the ground and they provide you with tools and information resources. So if you check out their website, it's internationalliving.com, then /60andme. You can sign up to receive a free report on places that you might want to consider to live overseas. So thanks to International Living. Now, I'm happy that I was able to mention them today, because the article I want to talk about today is about International Living, but it's reverse. Is someone who made the move from an international location back home. And it's a really good article because of course it's Lisa's comments are her own feelings and emotions, but they do actually raise some really cool practical points about moving. It doesn't even matter whether you're moving from across the seas to the States or vice versa. So she actually moved from Merida, Mexico, back to Chicago. And she'd lived in Merida, Yucatan Peninsula for I think 20 some years. So she was very well established there. And so in a way, it could have been anywhere. It was just an international location. And the unique things were, of course, related to shipping and that sort of thing. But the psychology of what she went through as she gave up her home in one place and moved somewhere else was really quite valuable. So thank you, Lisa. Lisa Dunkel is her name. And she's a lovely lady. I know her well. She actually came to Switzerland for a trip a few years ago, and we got to meet and chat. But anyway, she's her first thing in the line in the article is international travel or international moving is not for sissies. And so she did this reverse commute, and it's a tough one. So she says the first thing to remind you, if any of you are thinking of moving from where you are to an international location or the other way around, or really anywhere across your state or country, it's just a matter of planning. And she said, you can never start too soon. And I think the most important thing for her was not so much the physical planning, but the emotional planning. Just letting go of the home that she'd been in for so many years and the friends and the identity that she had created. And this actually doesn't matter whether you're moving from Austin, Texas to Dallas, Texas, or from Ecuador to New York. It's just you establish an identity. And that's what she did. So she said she had to think about who was going to do the freight forwarding, though, who was going to do the shipping. What about her animals? What about her car? She went through this sort of drama, positive and some negative, about all this stuff. What am I going to do? Write it down. Write it down. and then just systematically go through things one at a time. And that's the advice for this whole article. I suggest you have a read of it too, though, because it's actually quite a human story. And I think that as women in our 60s, we're facing this kind of upheaval and change and moving a lot. I think a lot of us are making relocation decisions. So that's the first thing, is planning. The next thing is, don't even think of packing yourself. Now, if you've got just 10 boxes and it's straightforward in a car and you can do it yourself, no problem. But if you're doing a long distance move, really consider getting some help. There are companies, people, groups, organizations that will help you, and use an international packer in her situation. But unless you know how to pack fragile things and you know the size of boxes. I'm moving myself in a few weeks, and I got some great big boxes from IKEA, and they're too big. Because once you put even clothes in them, they turn out to be super heavy. So I think the best thing to do is get a lot of small boxes and then learn how to pack, or get someone to help you. It's really important. When I say learn how to pack, I mean not just the packing physically, but what goes in the boxes has to get through customs if you're going across borders. And you need to make sure, this is so critical, right on the outside of the box what's inside. And also, if you have a system for what room, so red dots are yellow or living room, yellow dots are kitchen, that also is super helpful. But don't find yourself with 10, 15 boxes and no idea what's inside of them. And so Lisa did this, and she found it was very helpful. Ask her about furniture. Do you really need to take it with you? Well, of course, people have sentimental items. They have things that they don't want to leave behind. But again, it's a real challenge with a big house. When you're moving from big to small, it's a perfect opportunity to do downsizing, but that isn't always the easiest time of the process to do it. But anyway, she moved only things that she had a heartfelt or emotional connection to, and she still had 41 boxes. So I think that's actually quite okay. So the next thing is, have a garage sale early and then have them often. Don't give up after the first one, because you won't sell everything on the first one for sure, but you'll get rid of a lot on the first one. But then keep doing it early, then gives you a chance to keep refining the downsizing, and that's important. And then get down to the really, really essential stuff. Another piece of advice, of course, is closing your accounts. Some accounts need a notice. I had to cancel my internet coverage, and they needed 3 months notice. And I didn't know this, but I was fortunate. I went in and asked. But find out about closing your accounts. Make sure that you're not left with any payments when you're not there. So that's an important thing. Internet, utilities, homeowners, all those types of things that maybe are billed annually too. See if there's any way that you can stagger things so that you get the best financial deal. Another thing she says is, for the last few nights before you move, see if you can plan a refuge. See if you can find a friend, or even a little Airbnb or a place where you can get out of your house with all the boxes, because presumably the bed is going to go at some point, and unless you want to sleep on the floor, it's good to have a little place to stay just for those 3 or 4 days leading up to the day that the movers arrive. And of course, staying with friends is comforting. So if you've got girlfriends or guy friends that will take you in, that's wonderful too. Another thing that Lisa talks about is customs. In her case, there was a lot of complexity with customs stuff, because Mexico to the United States is complicated. But she said, you just do it early, do it methodically, do it in like a ritual, and it's all good. Also, make sure you see your doctors, do your closing things with your dentist. Make sure all your papers and files are made available to you, or at least you know how to get them to the next professional that needs them. That's another important thing. And then the final thing she says is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Call your girlfriends, call your guy friends, call people that you know are going to put their arms around you, give you the biggest hug, bring you some food to eat, or just whatever. At that point, it's a little bit like a divorce, I think. You just need to be able to call someone up and say, can you feed me? Can you just take me somewhere? anywhere. And, you know, they will step up. Most friends, when you ask for help, people will respond. They want to help. They're your friend. They don't, then that's another person to look for. So moving, as Lisa says, is a shake-up of the soul. It's a shake-up of the soul. It's hard to let go of things that, you know, it's both this article both applies to divorce, to letting go of a new, like a moving to a new home. It's all those things. It's letting go of you and recreating a new one. So that's thanks to Lisa for taking the time to write this article and to be so heartfelt about it. I hope that you enjoyed it. So I'd like to know, you know, what moving tips can you share? You know, what woulda, shoulda, coulda that comes to mind after you moved? What advice would you give our women here? Be really interesting to know. Are you planning to move soon? Something that you got to do? Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's all good. It's all starting over, starting fresh, creating new. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Don't forget to check out our inspirational cards, our Aging Beautifully cards. We've got our yoga videos for free now on the website. What else? Just check out our Patreon group. This group is amazing. We have about 700 women now from our 60andMe community who are able to do a small donation to 60andMe, $3 or so a month. And in exchange for that, we give you free access to videos that don't go anywhere else, just exclusive for you. And also I'm there every day because I make time for it. These are people that are giving 60andMe a hand to stay financially secure and to not have to charge a membership fee. We really appreciate them. So I spend my time there. We talk one-on-one. It's very personal. It's a small group, so we can share frequently. I do like little private videos on when I travel, and it's just my way of saying thank you to our supporters. So that's patreon.com/60andme. So that's it for now. Hope that you're doing great wherever you are, and thank you for being here, for giving me all your love and support. And it's back to you too, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.